Hey guys, we're going to be talking about the Guitar Link USB interface, the UCG102 by Behringer. Now this is something that I've been looking at for a long time to check out, to give an accurate type of review for it, to see what you guys could make out of it. And to my surprise, it's worked actually pretty well for what it is. One thing is, you have to understand what an interface is. An interface is something that allows you to take an instrument that can be hooked into a 1/4 inch jack, such as a bass guitar, a guitar, microphone for vocals, things like that, into a computer via USB. So what it will do is it'll take your 1/4 inch and run it into the interface, and then you plug this part into your computer, and using a software that can recognize what this is, it'll record what you have in the way of your instrument and the computer, which would be the interface or any kind of effects you put in the way. Now this is no lambda, so this isn't something that's really going to be what you want to record your first full-out demo in, or at least not your first choice, but this does give you a really good place of where to start, because it's got a quality enough to record something when you just get an idea, or record something when you're on like a tour or on travel, things like that, last-minute recordings, but it doesn't hold up too much into where you can say this is a really high-quality recording interface. It is pretty cheap. You can find these for a price that I forget right now. I'll write around me how much that costs. But it's very cheap, all Behringer equipment are, and we're going to start out this review with the unboxing. Alright, this is the unboxing for the Guitar Link UCG102, the interface. Now, I felt like I should do an unboxing for this because their packaging is really well done, especially if you speak a lot of languages, or if you for catering to the many parts of the world. If you look right around the box, you'll see stuff in every language that you need to see it in. Basically, you got Spanish here, you got French, Dutch. It's really cool, but what's really nice about these things is, like, you open it, and of course you get the interface itself, and then you've got a lot of books and manuals here. So this is the user manual. Well, this is also the user manual in a different language. Then you've got the contact information for their global contact information. I mean, you can call Canada Behringer, Australia, USA, Europe, Japan, everything like that, depending on where you are in the planet. Another Asian type, we're going to see what that is. Another one after that. Yeah, another one after that. This one's in a better quality than the other ones, I'm not sure why. Then there's a software installation guide, which is in thousands of languages. It's really available in a lot. And then you've got your software CDs. You've got the interface mixing software here, which is the record and mix. And then you've got a guitar combos one, which gives you various guitar combos and mixing styles. The reason I wanted to show you all this is, if you travel a lot, and let's say that in the chance that you get to take any of these things overseas, you'll have support wherever you are, because you have contact information from a lot of parts of the world, a lot of major parts. If you're in Canada, let's say I live in Michigan, so I might tour somewhere in Ontario. Well, I can just call Behringer Canada and see if I can get help from them, see if they can send me something from there as a replacement. So if you have a warranty, you have a global warranty instead of just a warranty at home, or you can at least try calling them, see if you can get any help. But yeah, that's the audio interface, and that's the way that it comes in the box. Now, as you saw in the unboxing, Behringer really cares about everybody in the world. They really have an idea of languages, because there's just tons of languages in anything you buy. All the pedals I've ever bought, if you buy amps from them, this interface, things like that, Behringer really cares about, I guess, everyone, and they give you a contact list to go to if you are in any place in the world. So, let's say you guys are traveling around the world. I can say you can do it. I know you can. If you're traveling around the world, you have something in Behringer, you might be able to call some of their people in that part of the world so you can get some help. Maybe you have a warranty. Maybe they can send it to you. I haven't really called Behringer before to see this kind of thing happen, but it does end up happening. The features of this thing: it's got an input jack for the guitar or mic or anything like that, and then it's got an output which is into headphones. It's a 1/4 inch both ways, so you can either get a 1/4 inch adapter, or you can get a 1/4 inch headphone, and you've got a spot here for a guitar. Then it goes, of course, into the USB, but in the way you've got a blue LED that'll shine really bright. One of the things I've noticed about Behringer is their blue LEDs. I don't know what it's about, but their blue LEDs are very, very, very bright. I've had to actually take black electric tape and put them on my pedals because they're really, really bright. And this thing is bright. It's not quite as blinding as some of the pedals, but it's bright. You'll know it's on. And then it's also got a clip light on here to show you if you're clipping or not, which is kind of useful because you have a level which would be high or low. And the high level is high level signal, low is low level signal to go into the interface, into what you're going to the PC. Like I said, this thing isn't a professional type of interface, so it doesn't really have that many features. There's not a single knob on here that'll turn up or down the volume besides just that high and low, and then it's got a volume on the side to go for the headphones, but that's about it. Other than that, everything is going to go through it clean. So when you are running an instrument through this thing, it's going to go in clean, and then it's going to go into the computer. There's going to be no effects on the interface. Some interface I've seen that actually do have effects. There's distortion, there's built-in capabilities. A lot of people use direct boxes and things like that. So the way that you can use this interface is if you have a direct box or a distortion pedal and you're using a guitar, then you could run a guitar into the distortion pedal, into the direct box, run that into this interface, running this into the computer. So pretend this is your amp. Pretend this and the computer are your amp. And instead of blowing the noise back to you like an amplifier would, it actually records what you're doing instead, and you hear it through the headphones. So on the same principle, what will end up happening is you'll have your effects pedals in the way, you can move things up and down, and that's how you can really get the authentic sound that you're really getting from your guitars. Same thing with bass or anything else you're doing. If you have vocals in the way, then you probably want to tweak on the editing, which is what my next part is. If you are running straight clean, you're going to have to do a lot of your own mixing, which is on any kind of recording program. And it's going to bring me to the software of this. The software that comes with the Behringer UCG102 is absolutely terrible. I've found no use for it. The first CD, which is the Energy, I think it's the X2, XC2 or something like that. I don't have it around here right now, but it sucks. It's really terrible. You turn it on, when you install it, you turn it on, it'll give you an entire song that's been sampled out from drums, bass, you know, everything. It's just an entire kind of techno song that's been sampled out melody by melody. And I'm not sure what that's for. It's a lot of fun to play with. I mean, I was on there for about an hour forgetting that I actually had this thing because I was playing with it, but it really doesn't help. I could not record with this thing. I couldn't find a way to go into preferences or go onto something to recognize what this interface was. I tried absolutely everything. It's a little bit complicated, and I kind of gave up after a while because if it's not extremely easy, or if it's not easy enough to do it the first time around, I'm not going to see any reason to try even more. And then the other CD that came with it was the Guitar Combo CD, and that is even more useless because once you install it, it's not even on your computer. I reboot my computer, I tried to go on my computer and I tried to install it manually, and it'll have the installation, it'll install, but then once my computer reboots, which it does for me, there's nothing on my computer, there's no recollection of my computer to know that that was there in the first place. So instead what I did is I used what was already on my computer, which is Audacity, which I urge you to get because it's a really awesome freeware program that'll record everything from your computer mic to an interface like this, and I was able to get this detected very quickly. I was able to go to Edit, Preferences, find this USB device, and I was up and rolling. There is no monitor, so you cannot hear yourself when you're playing. Actually, when I recorded the demo sample for this, I could not hear myself when I was playing. That's just string noise that I could hear, but it sounded pretty okay on the recording, so I did the best I could. I didn't use any headphones because I couldn't find any at the time, but if you can find a way to run a 1/4-inch type of monitor, then you'll be able to hear yourselves out of these monitor speakers, so you'll see if you sound good or not, because this thing only has the capability to let you hear yourself and let you record. Other than that, I was pretty set. I recorded just straight through clean. I used some effects in there which were on Audacity itself, and then at the end I used an effect pedal in the way, so you guys should get a really good idea. I did record this just on bass because I do more bass videos than guitar videos. If you absolutely want to see a guitar video and you can't find any on YouTube, I will link you to one that I will have unlisted, and it'll probably be on the annotation somewhere right now if somebody has requested it, and you can go there to hear the guitar parts. Again, they're both clean. If I record them, they both come out clean, so it'll just be the same thing. For the recording, I'm using an ESP B55 5-string bass. It's all passive. The reason I wanted to use an all passive bass is because I wanted to see how well it responded to just a clean, all-passive bass with no active hardware at all into the mixing system that I was running it into. I wanted to see how well it handled pretty small things, because I've already come to the conclusion this is not really for demos, so I didn't really go all out on how I wanted my bass to sound, even though you guys could. I just wanted to basically play out a scenario where if I'm up till maybe, till 4 or 5 in the morning, and I have this idea in my head, and I say, oh, okay, I want to record it, I can go in, and just straight plug this in, and that's what it's going to sound like. I wanted to play that scenario for you guys. So it's going to be straight clean. Again, there's going to be a little effect at the end, but it's not distortion, and then there's going to be an effect in the middle. So here is the sound demo. As you heard, this thing shines pretty well when it comes to using a pick right in the middle. I don't know why, but as soon as I picked up a pick and I started playing with a pick, it just picked up pretty well. Actually, I would use the sound that I got with a pick on this bass on a demo recording that I would be selling, because it just sounded that good. Some of the finger stuff was okay. I was able to get enough of a clip fix that I could actually mix it pretty well with another guitar. So on the highest peak, I would be able to use this interface for demos that I recorded with my band later on. Some of the other fingerstyle stuff that I was doing on the B string, you guys could hear, wouldn't exactly clip, but it would reach the headroom space. And then when I was playing all the stuff with my fingers in the beginning of it, I was still getting those clips. So you don't really want to give it too much pressure. You might want to turn down how much of the interface is being recognized on whatever software you're using, but it does handle pretty well for what it's made to do. So that is the UCG102, I always forget that, Behringer UCG102 Guitar Link interface. It works pretty well for the bass. It's made more for guitar, so you guys might be able to get a better sound out of guitar. Again, I can do a request for a guitar sound later on. My final thoughts for it is basically the fact that it's made specifically for those last minute ideas. It's not really made something so that you can make an entire demo. Though they do say that you can do that with this, and I kind of believe that you could, I wouldn't choose this as a first interface for my demo. However, if this is your only choice, this will work. It's way better than using a computer mic or just some other mic or just one mic. It works a lot better. If you can get a guitar in here with some effects in the way, some decent effects, and you can get a bass in here and some and vocals, and then you use the same vocal mic to run into here and kind of hang over the drum set, you guys can get a pretty decent recording with some very heavy tweaking on whatever software you're using. The first step would be to, of course, turn down the signal that you're getting from this, because it does peak very easily. So if you can tweak pretty well on any instrument or any kind of thing like that, you will be able to make a decent demo with some of the effects that you can use on any kind of freeware program, and you can get yourself a pretty decent demo for very cheap to very free, because this thing is extremely cheap and you can use software such as Audacity that's very free. My problems with this thing are, again, like the fact that I said, it's not exactly something that I can use for a demo every single time, but every time I want to send an idea to my guitarist from bass, I can just send them the MP3 file. Also, some of the things that Behringer comes with is pretty useless, because those CDs really did not help me any. The CD-ROMs that come with this thing were very bad. The software itself, for what it was, a mixing software, was pretty good. Like, I could make some pretty good beats on it, but for the recording purposes that it was sent to me for, I could not fathom why I would want to use that. So you don't really want to bother. So if you can really just get one of these by itself, you're not missing out too much on the box or the software that comes with it, unless you speak other languages than English. Then you might want to be able to get some of the manuals that come with it that are in different languages. Other than that, this is the Behringer UCG102. It works pretty well for what it is. Last minute ideas, best kind of things like that, where you really want to retain all the information you have in your head by playing it and recording it. At the farthest stretch, you can make a demo. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter. You guys can find out the latest on what I've got on videos and where I am recording the upcoming videos, things like that. So if you have any gear, then you can see if I'm making videos for it, if I already have it. And thank you for watching.